For YouTube! YouTube! Every angler that's fished for some time has a go-to or favorite bait that they have when the conditions turn tough. Last Sunday for me was one of those days and moments where at the drop of the hat I changed. I changed back to an old, tried and true crankbait that I've had for over 11 years and has caught numerous spotted bass and largemouth. This crankbait has rusty paint, but also chipped paint from the numerous fish I've caught over 11 years on it. I bought this crankbait at Academy in Auburn, Alabama, when I was working there back in 2008. I thought, well, this is an abstract color, not your typical shad, crawfish, or bluegill pattern. It was purple on top, with chartreuse sides and sharp black triangles running down the side as well. It was going to be a bait where I thought I would just sit it in my box as a collector's item. I mean, what man who fishes doesn't have collector's lures in their box that sit inside their box and never get used? I'm sure most of us can attest to having one of those lures or many of them. My video begins as I just had tied on my favorite crankbait, and not too many casts later, I began to feel hard bottom, a transition from the mud to the hard bottom, and when I cast it towards the pea gravel, something began to run off with my crankbait. That's a big one, I don't know. Yep, that's a big one. Yep. Confidence bait, man. Hope I got that on camera too. That's a go. It's a go. Get down there and get him. I thought I was on a tree there for a little bit. Yeah. Oh, he's get it off. I need that net, but yes, sir.
Take a picture?
Yes, I got it on video though too, which is cool. I think I'm recording. I hope I am. Check that out, guys. For YouTube. For YouTube. YouTube. Confidence bait, man. All right, you ready? You good? Yes, sir. Confidence bait, man. He whacked it. He whacked it. Oh yeah, you're recording. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Coming off that tree?
Yeah, right in the middle of it.
Yeah, they're shallow. For sure. You wouldn't think so this time of year they'd be shallow like it is, but not to me. Thought I had one there, but
On the jig. Yeah.
As the fishing day continued, the bite was rather slow. Still, a fish here, a fish there, but nothing else seemed to be clicking for me. The issue with this crankbait is that in heavy cover, with it being super shallow, I didn't want to force my hand in trying to fish it and get hung, especially since we were in a bigger boat. And I didn't want to force my boater into retrieving it time after time and potentially messing up his transducers or his trolling motor prop. When we got back to the harder bottom, that's where I put the crankbait back on. And on the second cast, it was nailed.
Have a high-speed reel,
Yeah.
so you can slow it down and drag it with the tip rather than. But in the summer, I throw it on a 7-Eleven hammer rod that I can throw from here to the other end of the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on a 6-2-to-1 instead of a 7-to-1. Like you got a hawk on the ground over here, like you caught some.
Got one. That's a good one. Oh yeah, dude, that's a really good one. I'm either foul hooked him. No.
He got it.
I'm recording too. Yep, they're shallow for sure. What's it? Fat. Fat, fat, fat. To get me pliers. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, no, it's been a good day. I didn't know if I was gonna catch anything or not.
Boy, even the toughest fishing days are no match for that crankbait that I bought 11 years ago. I've had so many good memories with it, and it's such a unique crankbait. The way that this bait goes in the water, it flies true. I mean, it goes true in the water, and that's really hard to find in crankbaits. Also, it has that really deep sounding rattle, not a high pitch rattle, but a deep sounding rattle that I think attracts them a lot better than a high pitch rattle. I mean, I'm sure in high pitch rattles, in some instances, work better than a deeper sounding rattle, but this one right here, guys, this catches fish, and it's been a great lure for me these past 11 years. I can remember on the Pearl River, downriver, I was fishing below the dam of Ross Barnett in April of 2012, and I was tearing the spots up with this thing. It was on a river channel from 3 to 10 feet down. It was on a river ledge, okay, and also there was a current eddy that was forming around the point, and man, those spotted bass were up there. Man, they were up there, and it caught them. And I also remember last fall, it caught some really key spotted bass for me in the monthly tournament, kayak tournament, in the monthly kayak tournament that I was in. It caught me those key spots that where I could go now and fish the frog for largemouth. You know, that bait pretty much sealed my confidence, and I was able to find some better largemouth and also able to cull those spots, and you know, hey, fish, you know, wind up pretty decent in the tournament. So those are just two of the stories that I have of this crankbait. It's amazing how I will drop this thing and then a couple months later pick it back up and just really catch them hard. So it's really interesting. It's a case study for me. It is in how I perceive certain baits. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something from it. And also, be on the lookout for my crappie video here coming in the next few days. Take care, guys.